Alright, so now I haven't done anything in a while, but I got tricked into coming back and doing some stuff by probably my own ego. I don't know, man. So what I've got here on screen is what I think might be the first. I've not really heard of anybody else doing this, but it's the first SAS4 map viewer. So I'm just showing off Onslaught for this because it's kind of like more old school and simple as far as the map format goes. But basically, what I've done is I've created some tooling that allows me to define schema to parse arbitrary SAS4 related bin files. What that means is I can parse the maps into meaningful JSON objects and write a front end to allow you to kind of move around and render it. So this is actually all on my GitHub. I'll have the links down below. It's kind of not that straightforward to use, and it's kind of like very much in a pieces of things that could be wrapped into libraries that could get integrated into some sort of like game data editor UI, like Electron app for SAS4. That's kind of my vision. I don't think I'm going to do that. It would take a lot of time and be a lot of work. But I didn't think I was going to do this much, so we'll see what happens. But basically kind of breaking down the map format. The biggest central part of it is the list of graphs, which uses the list of nodes to describe just like lines, simply put. And so there's like some important graphs. So this one has a physics edge graph, but I deleted it. So when I actually show off the gameplay on this modified map, that'll be pretty evident. But basically these black lines are what that physics edge graph was. And so this is like the collision boundaries for the map for both players and zombies. And if you modify it, you can modify where things collide. And I do have the ability to re-encode this and copy this back into the game. I've already taken the liberty of doing that with this modified version. So the green things here, they're entities. So entities are very complicated. They have parameters, which are just some bytes that mean, I don't know what they mean. I don't know how to decode those. Then there's also spawners, which are the red things. So the spawners seem to just be used on this map for spawning the boss, so I moved the spawner here. So zombies will still come in normally through the front gate, but the boss will spawn back here, which I'll show off in a minute. Doors and treasure. Where's treasure? Yeah, I've not seen these used on any maps. I don't know what they're... Maybe they're for like event maps or like arena maps or nightmare maps, but I've not seen them. Avatar spawns, so this is on every map. This is where the players can spawn. So you can move these. I've played with moving them on pods to spawn me in the boss room, and that's quite exciting. There's other things here, things. Don't know what those mean exactly. Extras. So extras are just, these are like the arrows that show up in the game to tell you where to go at certain points. I'm pretty sure that's all this means. But yeah, so it was quite a bit of effort getting a schema parser put together, defining schemas based on, and coming up with adequate names for the fields based on some Flash code. So this map reader actually works for Flash and Steam. And so does the bin decoder if you've got the raw bins from Flash or Steam. The map format is the same across both games, which is actually pretty interesting. So yeah, actually showing this off in some gameplay. Here's my modified Onslaught map. I wanted to do something more interesting, like move a crucial entity somewhere, but yeah, as you can see, I do not collide with the walls. I do collide with these because these are different than walls, and there's like other things here. But for example, if I open this, I can just run straight through this. So I collide with these. I can like push these through the wall because the walls aren't hard. I can get back in here. There's a little thing in the middle I can collide off of, and on the sides. I'm not quite sure how those are defined. I'm not sure if some of those entity parameters expand to represent those, or how it works. But yeah, so in general, I have started that work on that UI. I could build in some more functionality that allows you to move things around on that screen. And from there I could allow it to actually export and re-encode the map as a binary data file. And from there I could even go as far as, if this were an Electron app running locally, it would have the permissions to be able to write the file back to your system, to your SAS4 install in the compressed, encrypted zombiepods.jet file in the game assets. So it would be very interesting to build like a whole Electron application just for like SAS4 Steam data modification. It would be a lot of work though. I definitely think that I'd do a better job at like architecting that now than I would have in the past. But it still doesn't mean that I feel like doing all that effort. It's going to be a lot of front end bullshit. Just even getting like the management of the like local state, because I want to do full things. Actually, hold on. Let me show off a crucial part of this I forgot to mention. So tiles, they're like what describes. All right, I gotta jump back or I'll get killed. They're what describes the background pieces of the game and like how they overlay each other. And what assets are used for them. So like this texture for the background of the outside of the ship, for example, would be defined in those tiles. So if I run back here again and we can jump back for a second, we can look at one of them. It has an image ID, which refers to the asset looked up in the asset CSV, scaling of that, some unknown numbers, and an X and a Y. I just tried to do the medic double bounce heal bug off of the wall, but then it turned out the wall wasn't solid. So that, I guess that's a consequence of disabling wall collisions. But I think it might work off of entities, I'm not sure. Regardless though, I've got tools out there now. They're going to be linked below. If anybody wants to take a look at them and feels like building something cooler with them, that would be awesome. Because I kind of don't feel like it, because it would be a lot of boring stuff, and I've kind of already done all the fun stuff building out like the let me switch back to the sick map visualizer. But yeah, actually let's get back here so we can watch the boss spawn happen. I've also played around with some other things. So my DG data editor that's up on my GitHub pages, stopped to think long enough to realize, oh wait a minute, I can definitely do save editing with this, and also having a full-blown save editor for this game for free is a pretty good deal for me wanting to do future things. Like maybe I'll do like an old school flash type in Kia video, where I just have some silly there we go. See, the boss spawned from here because we moved the spawn point in the map viewer, not editor yet. Yeah, right, important things I was saying. Yeah, so I might do some videos like some 360-degree nanotonium blah 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 blah, blah whatever, because it would be pretty easy just with save editing, and with the fact that I now have just editing for all the binary data files like the weapons and ammo.bin, and I can do things like change the spread and the fletchet count very easily. I think I'm gonna stop this here. So if anybody has any cool ideas on things to do with the stuff I've dropped, or has suggestions for videos, just let me know.